There's no shortage of amazing watches from the heavy hitters like Hamilton, Casio, and Rolex to the smaller micro brands like Neomatik, Zelos, and Baltic. There's never been a better time to be into watches with more options than ever before across every price point and style. Today we're taking a look at 10 of the best new releases this year from some of my absolute favorite brands. There's a lot of great watchmakers out there that are known for in-house production and carving out their own identity, but I don't think anyone does it better than Nomos. Their watches deliver Bauhaus elegance, innovative in-house mechanics, deep-rooted Glashütte heritage, and impressive value for all that's packed into their watches. They have a very cohesive and distinct design language that really makes their watches special. When you see one of their designs, you instantly know it's a Nomos. They also exceed the 50% requirement to use the Glashütte label with 95% in-house production going above and beyond. The brand definitely knows a thing or two about clean, white-dialed watches, and now their most versatile watch finally gets the honor. The Ahoi Neomatik 38 date is available with a silver-plated white dial that's packed with tons of style and great specs, which includes the Nomos caliber DUW 5101 automatic movement seen in all its glory through the display caseback. The level of refinement and finishing is really a sight to see, and pair that with a clean, minimalist design and a super thin profile, this watch is a total home run. You also have the option of a steel bracelet or fabric strap that each give the watch a totally different personality. It's sporty, elegant, and a great daily that's unique but not over the top. The little splashes of color help balance out the design and add a fun, playful look. Aside from the classic Bauhaus sporty style, another signature of Nomos watches are the long, slender lugs, a really unique and cool feature. Out of all the watches I've owned during my 20 years of collecting watches, the one I regret the most selling is the Oris Aquis. The build quality, the unique design, and that undeniably cool factor, it all just works so well. It's been exciting watching the brands continue to grow and release new collections like the Diver's 65 chronograph. Unlike most Swiss watchmakers that are owned by big luxury groups, Oris has remained independent since 1904, giving them the freedom to design, price, and innovate without corporate pressure. They make purpose-built tool watches with in-house mechanical movements that offer much better value for the money compared to the Swiss giants in the industry. Rather than a traditional black or white panda layout, Oris has given us a silvery sunburst dial paired with mossy green subdials and a matching rotating timing bezel. Outside of the new colors and panda layout, it has all the features that make the Diver 65 chronograph awesome, like the 40mm case, great production with 100 meters of water resistance, and a domed sapphire crystal that mimics old original acrylic. One of my favorite details of this new Oris is the bracelet. The design and comfort of the Oris Aquis was absolutely incredible, so it's really great to see it on this new chronograph, with a steel 3-link bracelet and faux rivets that add a vintage tool watch look. There's also the option of a black leather strap with white contrast stitching that's definitely a great option as well. Inside powering the engine is the Oris signature red rotored movement, the caliber 771 automatic chronograph, which is based on the extremely popular Swiss-made Sellita SW500-1. The Diver 65 chronograph in black is a great looking watch, but I think it's the ocean green that really lets that vintage vibes pop a lot more. The Vulcain Skindiver Chronograph looks like a perfectly preserved vintage timepiece, but it's more than just a great looking tool watch. The Swiss watchmaker has a deep history going all the way back to 1853 and has an awesome archive of great watches, but were victims of the quartz crisis during the 70s and 80s. All that changed when they received a second life in the early 2000s when new owners bought the IP and rebooted the brand. Unlike traditional chronographs, which are designed for motorsports and athletes, the 30-minute register at the 3 o'clock is formatted for diving. The first 9-minute portion is broken into 3-minute sections, with the first being blocked off with a distinct color. The dial's outer rim has a tachymeter, which is standard, but placed inside of what is a relic of the past, a decimal track, which breaks a minute into 100 segments, allowing for more complex measurements. It's also a useful chronograph that's packed with some rare dial features. The Salmon version has all of the fun features of the previous version, but this time around with a much more eye-catching dial that I don't think will ever go out of style. But if it is a bit too vibrant for you, they have a black and white along with a really impressive meteorite dial that's a total banger. I love the look of this design, combining a Skindiver case with a chronograph layout. Longines just dropped a couple new releases, and they absolutely nailed it out of the park with both. The first celebrates a century of the Zulu Time, one of the best travel watches with the 1925 collection. Rolex might have established itself as the definitive GMT, but interestingly, it was actually Longines who invented the first 2-time zone watch. The Zulu Time was introduced in 1925 as a tool watch for pilots to track their home and local times. It was named after Zulu, the military and commercial aviation call sign for Greenwich Mean Time. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of the original GMT, Longines has given the Spirit Zulu Time a really nice-looking rose gold and yellow gold accents as a symbolic crowning for its achievement. All 5 references feature the same matte black dial with gold-plated applied numerals and gold plating on the hands, but one reference has a rose gold bezel insert engraved with the 24-hour GMT track and a decorated rose gold rotor that could be seen through the display case back. They revived the Zulu Time as part of the Spirit collection in 2022, completely redesigning it, making it one of the best attainable luxury travel watches in the market. It runs on the in-house L8 44.4 automatic caliber, equipped with a true GMT movement that allows the hour hand to be adjusted independently, something world travelers prefer because it allows for easy adjustment over the local time while tracking home time with the GMT hands. Over the past 5 years, the collector value of Longines watches have increased by 316%, outperforming other big Swiss competitors, and reminds me a lot of what Tudor's been able to accomplish through these past handful of years. Speaking of Tudor, they've also released 2 really cool and different watches to their collection. First up is the Tudor FXD Chrono Yellow. A big standout feature of the FXD collection are the fixed lugs, which feature a fun, unique design. The Pelagos might have started out as a dive watch. Its chronograph sibling is equally as stylish, with its fixed bezel and 43mm case that is made of lightweight and durable carbon fiber, executed in a matte black finish. Along with the bicompass layout, date window at the 6, and luminescent ceramic monoblock applied hour markers, this watch is a grand slam. I love the subtle use of yellow, accenting the subdials, tachymeter scale, and the stripe along the strap. Just the right amount without being too distracting. It has all the signature Tudor flair that has made the brand so beloved, like the snowflake hands and the impressive MT5813 automatic chrono movement. There's just something about Tudor's design language that I absolutely enjoy, and how you could tell it's one of their watches right away. What's interesting about the FXD Chrono is how it was developed in collaboration with the French Navy's combat swimmers, and unlike most watches with spring bars, the design features fixed, welded lugs, which enhances the strap security and durability, ideal for NATO straps and preferred in military contexts. Although the classic Black Bay gets most of the attention, I think the FXD line deserves its recognition, and this is a good transition to the other new Tudor release. Breitling Superocean Heritage is one of the best looking dive watches, but it always suffered from one big flaw. It measured 42 by 46 millimeters with 14 in thickness, so it definitely was a beefy watch. They have finally introduced a 40 millimeter and 36 millimeter version, which is part of the first update to the collection since 2017, and definitely the most impactful. Breitling did an amazing job sticking to the original design language of the 1950s dive watch that defined the Superocean Heritage collection, like the bisected circle applied hour marker at the 12 o'clock. Aside from the updated size, the rest of the details are subtle, but they definitely add up. The hands are now a blend of 2 previous generations. The minute retains the sword shape of the Heritage 2, while the hour hand takes the diamond tip shape from the 57. But perhaps the most notable is the second hand finally has a lume dot. The lack of one confused dive watch fans since 2007, so this is a cool update. They also tweaked the hour markers with a new spear tip shape. It's the bezel that's the only element that remains unchanged from the previous generation. We also get a new mesh bracelet design that features end links, blending the mesh bracelet up to the case, creating a more seamless look. The new update includes a dark green color as well as a seafoam green, and a new automatic movement from Breitling, the caliber B31, introduced in 2024, which has an impressive 72-hour power reserve. There's also a chronograph version of the Superocean Heritage with the same dial details as the original, but instead of the 3 subdials, this one has 2, and I absolutely love it. The Black Bay 54 Lagoon Blue takes the brand's most wearable dive watch and gives it an icy cool color perfect for summer. From the really stylish dial color to its unusual bezel, this watch elevates the Black Bay in several unexpected ways. It was only 2 years ago Tudor unveiled the Black Bay 54, and it was an instant hit because it was the most compact version of the iconic diver. Although the dial color is called Lagoon Blue, it looks like an icier version of the hugely popular Tiffany Blue. I really like how it's not a simple, flat color. It has a slight texture that gives it depth and character, helping it pop even more. But that's not the only stylistic change to the Black Bay 54. The bezel is also different, this time around with bare metal and subtle etched markings. This not only allows the dial color to be the focal point, but adds a layer of refinement we don't typically see too often from Tudor, giving this version a nice balance between sporty and elegant. It's fitted with the cost-certified in-house MT5400 automatic movement, which has a 70-hour power reserve, packed in a 37mm polished case. I love how Tudor has gone from being the sister company of Rolex to one of the best Swiss watch brands in the market, an accomplishment that's been achieved by really cool designs and great specs. Although Omega's Speedmaster Moonwatch often comes out on top when it comes to global recognition, but the Seamaster definitely holds its own with deep roots in diving and pop culture thanks to its long-standing appearance in the James Bond franchise. But its versatility, distinct design language, and high-level build quality is what really makes it special. The new Seamaster Diver 300M has been given a brand new look with a matte black dial with orange and white detailing. This latest addition to the legendary dive watch has a stainless steel case, a waveless matte black aluminum dial, and a polished black aluminum bezel insert accented with white and orange. I like how the orange accents are tastefully minimal on the dial, only being used on the seconds hands, the Seamaster text, and framing the 4-hour markers. It comes equipped on a steel mesh bracelet or a traffic cone orange rubber strap with a folding clasp for those who want to amplify the color scheme. This new iteration is not as flashy as the gold references and more subdued than the sporty white and blue dial designs, which I think is part of the appeal, along with the lack of a date complication, allowing for a cleaner, more symmetrical look. Aside from releasing really stylish designs, Omega also does a great job manufacturing impressive movements, like the Metis Master Chronometer Certified Caliber 8806 automatic movement that powers this watch. Another nice detail is the 42mm case size, which I think offers really great wrist presence without being too big or over the top, even for a bit smaller wrist sizes. TAG Heuer has decorated its Carrera chronograph with the tonal blue colorway that's inspired by one of the most interesting watches of the brand's history. This watch has a ton of character and a really great use of colors with dark and light blue along with white and yellow. There's a bit going on across the dial, but it all works well together. It's fitted with the same pushers and gear-shaped crown that the Carrera has featured since the 1960s. Powering the engine is the in-house caliber TH20 automatic movement seen through an exhibition caseback and boasts an 80-hour power reserve. It comes on a blue perforated leather racing strap with light blue accents, a great choice tying in the design nicely. The attention to detail is impressive with a lot of different textures and contrasting brushing and polishing on the case and dial. The watch is super sporty, super elegant, and a total stunner. The other new Longines release dives into the brand's archive with a stunning daily dress watch that's inspired by the 1954 design. The Heritage is the dressed-up older brother to the sporty standard Conquest. The dial is almost a mirror image of the original, which was the first Longines design to receive a Swiss trademark in 1954. The main visual difference is the size. The original was a 35mm case, but this new version either comes in 38 or 40mm. A really stylish detail is the gold on the dial, including the logo, hands, and hour markers, all being coated in 18-karat gold. The only exception is the blue dial, which has silver-toned markings. Flip the watch around, and the caseback features an 18-karat gold hands enameled medallion identical to the 1954 references. A cool nod to the past. The differences in the dial on the Conquest and Heritage collections are subtle, but they add up to a sleeker, more sophisticated look on the latter. The hands are now a Daphne style with narrow loom inlays. The applied hour markers are more pointed with grooved center, and the minute track is moved inside the hour track. Perhaps, though, the biggest difference is the lack of a date window, creating a sleeker look. The design is on point, as is the movement, the in-house L888.5, which has a 72-hour power reserve. The Conquest line was already extensive, but the Heritage adds even more references to the family of great daily watches, especially with the addition of the H-Link style bracelet with micro adjustment. At launch, there are 2 sizes and 5 different dial colors available. That's it for the watches today. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at 10 of my favorite new releases. Definitely let me know which was your favorite. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.